नमस्ते स्टूडेंट्स, खुश रहो बिटियो। आई जेवीएन डॉक्टर नरेंद्र सिंह शेखावत, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ शल्य तंत्र, फैकल्टी ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक साइंस, ज्योति विद्यापीठ वुमेन्स यूनिवर्सिटी। In previous class, we discussed about esophageal disorders like esophagitis, pungent anomalies of esophagus, etc. In today's class, we discuss about esophageal varix. What is the esophageal varix? Varix means varicosity. Any types of varicosity is called varix. Varicosity means tortuosity or abnormal dilatation of veins. If it is in esophagus, then it is called esophageal varix. Esophageal varix are tortuous, dilated, and engorged esophageal veins seen along seen along longitudinal axis longitudinal axis of esophagus. They occur as a result of elevated pressure in the portal venous system, most commonly in cirrhosis of the liver disease. Less common cause are portal vein thrombosis, hepatic vein thrombosis, this is called Budd-Chiari syndrome, and pilophlebitis. These are the common cause of the esophageal varix. The lesions occurs as a result of bypassing of portal venous blood from the liver to the esophageal venous flex. The increased venous pressure in the superficial vein of the esophagus may result in ulceration and massive bleeding. Instead of returning directly to the heart, venous blood from the GIT tract is delivered to the liver via portal vein before reaching the inferior vena cava. This circulation pattern is responsible for the first pass effect, in which drugs and other material absorbed in the intestine are processed by liver before entering the systemic circulation. Disease that impeded this follow cause portal hypertension, which can lead to the development of esophageal varix as an important cause of esophageal bleeding. Pathogenesis. One of the few sites where the splanchnic and systemic venous circulation can communicate in the esophagus. Thus, portal hypertension induces development of collateral channels that allow portal blood to shunt into the cave system. However, these collateral veins enlarge in the subepithelium and submucosal venous plexus within the distal esophagus. These vessels, termed varix, develop in 90% of cirrhosis patients, most commonly in association with alcohol liver disorder. Worldwide, hepatic cystosomasis is the second most common cause of varix. Means first common cause of varix is alcohol liver cirrhosis, and second most common cause is hepatic cystosomasis. Morphologically, varix can be detected by angiography and appears as tortuous dilated veins lying primarily within the submucosa of distal esophagus and proximal esophagus. Varix may not be obvious on gross inspection of surgical and post-mortem specimen because they collapse in the absence of blood flow. These overlying mucosa can be intact but is ulcerated and necrotic if rupture has occurred. Clinical features. Varix often may asymptomatic, but their rupture can lead to massive hematomas and death. Varicocele rupture therefore constitute a medical emergency. Despite intervention, as many as half of the patients die from the first bleeding episode, either as a direct consequence of hemorrhage or due to hepatic coma triggered by the protein load that result from intraluminal bleeding and hypovolemic shock. Among those who survive additional episodes of hemorrhage, each potentially fatal each potentially fatal occur in more than 50% of cases. As a result, greater than half of the deaths associated with advanced cirrhosis result from varicose rupture. This is the all about esophageal varix. Treatment of esophageal varix is same as the varicosity. Okay, students, this is all about the esophageal varix. Hope This session is powered by Digital Session 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. If you have any doubt or queries, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you, students. Namaste, students. Kusro Bitiyong. I, JV and Dr. Naren Singh Sekhat, Assistant Professor, Department of Salyatantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. In previous class, we discussed about anatomy of stomach, then pyloric stenosis, then and peptic ulcer part first. In today in peptic ulcer part 2, we discuss about general symptoms of peptic ulcer, complications of peptic ulcer, diagnostic of peptic ulcer, and general management of peptic ulcer. Let's begin. General peptic ulcer, symptoms of general peptic ulcer, epigastric tenderness. In gastric ulcer, tenderness feel in epigastrium, left to midline, and in duodenal ulcer, tenderness feel in mid to right of epigastrium. Sharp burning, aching, gnawing pain, dyspepsia, nausea, and belching. Complications of peptic ulcer like hemorrhage, perforation, narrowing and obstruction. This is called pyloric stricture or pyloric stenosis. Diagnostic test of for pyloric for peptic ulcer is first EGD. EGD means esophagogastroduodenoscopy. Esophagogastroduodenoscopy. This is the endoscopic procedure. And now we will discuss about the drug therapy or medication therapy for peptic ulcer. Let's provide pain relief medicines, antacids and mucosa protectors. Second, eradicate the Histolytica pylori infection. 2 antibiotics and 1 acid suppressor. Next, heal ulcer. For healing ulcer, eradicate infection, protect until ulcer heal. Prevent recurrence. For prevent recurrence, decrease high acid stimulating food in susceptible people. Avoid use of potential ulcer causing drugs. Stop smoking. Hyposecretory drugs like proton pump inhibitors, ACE2 receptor antagonists, antacids, prostaglandin analogues, and mucosal barrier fertilizers are used. If it is not treated, then we will in the treatment for surgery greatly decreased in the last 20 to 30 years, secondary to the discovery of Histolytica pylori. Required if ulcer in one of these states performed and overflowed into the duodenum, scarred and swelled so that there is obstruction, acute bleeding, and non-responsive to medications. Types of surgical procedure. First one is gastroenterostomy. Allows regurgitation of alkaline duodenal contents into the stomach. Creates a passage between the body of stomach to small intestine. This one is the body of stomach, and connect to the this one is the intestine. So avoid this, bypass this duodenal part and communicate from body of stomach to intestine directly. This one. Okay, students. This one is gastro and duodenostomy. This one is a gastroduodenostomy. Okay, students. This one is gastroduodenostomy. This one is gastroduodenostomy. Okay, students. सेकेंड वेगोटोमी, कट वेगस नर्व एलिमेंट एसिड सिक्रेशन स्टिमुलेंट्स, क्योंकि जो वेगस नर्व होती है वो एसिड सिक्रेशन करती है स्टमक में, तो उसको पाथ ऑफ वेगस नर्व इज कट डिवाइडेड, दिस इज द वेगोटोमी. दीज आर द शोइंग ऑफ surgical pyloroplasty widens the pylorus to guarantee stomach empty with, even without vagus nerve stimulation. इसमें अपन क्या करते हैं, जो वेगस पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर वाला पार्ट होते हैं उसकी जो मस्कुलर है उसको वाइड करते हैं और उसमें इंसिजन कट लगाने के बाद उसको थोड़ा विडन कर देते हैं विदाउट वेगस नर्व स्टिमुलेशन. टाइप्स ऑफ अदर सर्जिकल प्रोसीजर, एंटेरोटोमी या सब टोटल गैस्ट्रेक्टोमी. सब टोटल गैस्ट्रेक्टोमी, remainder must be reattached to the rest of the bowel below 2. Below 1 is distal portion of the stomach is removed. Enterectomy. Repeat. I am repeating. I am repeat this. Lower half of stomach must cut most of the acid. Lower half of the stomach makes most of the acid. Removing this portion decrease the acid production. This is the enterectomy. Subtotal gastrectomy. Remove 2/3 of stomach. This is the subtotal gastrectomy. Third one is remainder must be reattached to the rest of the bowel. There are two types of. First one is a Billroth and second is Billroth 2. Let's understand. Billroth 1. In Billroth 1, distal portion of the stomach, distal portion of the stomach, distal portion of the stomach, this stomach is removed. The remainder is anastomotic to the duodenum. This stomach part of stomach has been removed and distal portion of stomach is anastomotic to the duodenum. This one. It means the most of the acid production part has been removed. This is the Billroth first. Now Billroth second. In Billroth, the lower portion of the stomach is removed and the remainder is anastomotic to the jejunum. In this portion, in this type, the lower portion of stomach is removed and the anastomotic to the jejunum. This is the jejunum part. This is the jejunum part attached to the lower portion of the stomach. Clear, students? Postoperative care, you can see in nasogastric tube monitor the postoperative complication, bleeding, duodenal stump leak, gastric retention, dumping syndrome, anemia, and malabsorption of fat. So, student, this is all about the stomach disorders. This is one is a peptic ulcer. So, students, I hope you are satisfied with this digital session. If you have any doubts and queries, mention in comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you, students.